I am on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. And this is an exclusive Patreon only membership videos where you will get some interesting takes on Vedic astrology, some interesting learning on Vedic astrology, which I can usually will not upload on general YouTube platform. So that will help me grow as a channel, and that will help me take care of the cost of production of this YouTube channel and the other two channels that I have, Punneit Astrology Hindi and Lifetime Soul. Connect with me on Patreon and we will grow, and I will give you much more deep insights on Vedic astrology, and lot more secrets will be shared there. Hello seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Saturn and Jupiter are moving hand in hand in the sign of Capricorn. Saturn is in Shravana Nakshatra, whereas Jupiter is in Dhanishta Nakshatra, and Jupiter will continue in this sign till 21st of November. Capricorn is a zodiac sign of karma. It is a zodiac sign of duty. It is a zodiac sign where action takes place. And Saturn, the planet of karma itself, is in that house along with the planet of dharma, and Jupiter is forming a Neech Bhanga Raj Yoga in the same house. It's a brilliant formation for all of us. This combination of dharma karma is like Dharma Karma Adhipati Raj Yoga, and this kind of formation is forcing each one of us to do what is right and not get swayed away by the illusion of Rahu, but rather stay grounded, stay practical, and keep our head clear. This is one brilliant time when we can actually do things out of the box and find the solution that for which we were waiting for so long. But the thing is that it is in our hand. It is not going to come automatically. Rather, we have to create it. We have to act as a sculpture. We have to act as an artist who will carve the beauty of life from the dirt, from whatever stones are thrown to us. We will create a beautiful structure out of it. So this particular transit is unique. So let's discuss in detail, ascendant by ascendant, what this transit has to offer. I will give the timestamp in the comment section below. Also, watch my another video on direct Saturn in Capricorn ascendant wise. The link of that video is in the description box. And I have made an exclusive video where Libra Mars and Capricorn Saturn are having a mutual exalted aspect. That is also something unique. Watch that video also. So let's begin. But before that, do not forget to hit subscribe and hit the like button if you like the video, and do comment your views in the comment section and share the video among family and friends. Let's spread the word of Vedic astrology. So let's begin with Saturn and Jupiter's double transit in Capricorn for all ascendants. Ascendant number 1 for Aries ascendant. Saturn and Jupiter are in the 10th house in the Karma Bhava. Jupiter is the 9th lord and the 12th lord. Saturn is the 10th and the 11th lord. But just by this placement, you cannot understand much. You need to understand where is the ascendant lord. For you, the ascendant lord is in the 7th house, and this Mars is aspecting Saturn. I've already made a video on Mars and Saturn mutual exalted aspect. The link is in the description box, so do check that video after watching this video, which will give you a better understanding. But when the Dharma planet Jupiter and the Karma planet Shani are in the Karma house of the 10th house of Capricorn, definitely it is a time where you are much more humble. You want to learn more about your career. Career is livelihood. It can be anything. Even if for a businessman, if he is earning from his business, actually 7th house shows business, but 10th house is the career. Business can be a career. So the way you earn your livelihood is seen from the 10th house. The status, the reputation is seen from the 10th house. And for you, what public has to say, what spouse has to say about your career, about your livelihood, how you approach in your office, in your work is going to be extremely important till 21st of November. Yes, Jupiter is debilitated, but it is also in Neej Bhanga, although Jupiter is in Dhanishta Nakshatra. So what does it mean? It means that you should be very careful about what you can lose rather than what you can gain. Why? Because first of all, 11th Lord is also 12th from itself. 12th Lord is 11th from itself, which is actually aggravating the 12th house energies through 10th house. So it can be a risk in your career, and if you just don't follow the right path, if you don't follow the dharma, if you don't do your karma the way you should do, you won't be able to protect. Yes, Mars in the 7th house will seek protection by the 4th aspect to this. That means you will get help. Somebody will come to your rescue, but you should also understand that it cannot go on forever. So right now, if you have any kind of problem in your career, you should watch out for. While traveling, especially any business related trip which is possible in this time frame, or any personal travel, you should be slightly careful. See, Saturn is more about restrictive energy, and Jupiter in Capricorn is more about boasting what he has learned, because it is in Dhanishta Nakshatra. When Jupiter goes into Aquarius, whatever he has learned in the Capricorn, he will try to radiate and share with the public. He will be more about as a preacher. But in Capricorn, Jupiter is more as a learner. Jupiter is more as an obedient student to the divine. So you have to be an obedient student. 10th house Saturn and Jupiterian energies are definitely going to impact 4th house in a great way, because they both directly aspect the 4th house. And 4th house is basically the house of exaltation of Jupiter. So definitely this means that you have to leave comfort zone to build your career, build your livelihood, and the question of reputation can be on the cards. So you have to be very careful about your reputation, but don't be obsessed about it. If you do your work the way it should be done, if you're following a copybook approach, and if you're not too much insecure because of the Rahu in the 2nd house, and if you keep your words in check, and if you keep your emotions under control and you invest carefully, you will see that this strong Jupiter-Saturn double transit in the 10th house will give and will lay a very strong foundation for a bright future ahead. Ascendant number 2, Taurus Ascendant. For you, the double transit of Jupiter and Saturn is in the 9th house. Both are now direct. Until 21st of November, Jupiter will continue its transit in Dhanishta Nakshatra in the sign of Capricorn. Jupiter is your 8th lord and Saturn is your 10th lord. They both are in the 9th house. Also, Jupiter controls 11th house. Jupiter here is Bhavad Bhavam from the 11th house, that means 11th from 11th. This means that first of all, there will be transformation in your career, and you may have to relocate or travel to a far distance. You may also target higher education. If you want to pursue higher education, especially in your professional career, this is the right time. For people who want to do certifications, can also go for that, because this is the brilliant time to actually upgrade yourself. Transformation in the way you think you can earn livelihood, transformation in your reputation. All these things will be on a positive direction if Jupiter is kept positive. That means you keep your network circle positive and you keep your expectations in check, and you don't do anything out of the blue that can hurt the sentiments of people, or it can hurt the near and dear ones. 9th house means the divine presence. It is the house that gives us the consciousness, the divine consciousness that makes us who we are. Then definitely the 9th house energies must be preserved, and this role is now decided by Shani himself. Saturn is going to be in the 9th house for a pretty long time. Now for your ascendant, Rahu in Kritika in the 1st house is fueling the fire. It is giving the energy on your mind to do something out of the blue, out of the extraordinary, and maybe urging you to take the shortcut. And Jupiter in Capricorn and Dhanishta may be also pushing you that yes, you can do it, and the hope that tomorrow Jupiter will go in Aquarius and create wonders for you may make you take some not so good decisions, not so good steps in life. You have to be very, very smart and careful not to aggravate Jupiter and Saturn at this time. Following your duty and responsibility is the key, because Saturn's 10th aspect falls on the 6th house, whereas Jupiter 9th aspect falls on 5th house. Both Prarabdha and Purva Punya, that means 6th house, the duty, and the 5th house, the Purva Punya, the past life good karma, are under direct impact from planets in the 9th house. Definitely this means that the deities are watching over you. Every single karma is being registered at this time. Whatever you do must be as per dharma. Dharma means what is right and what should have been done in a situation where you are in right now. Any kind of greed or selfishness will be dealt with a strong hand and an iron fist by Saturn, because Saturn's 3rd aspect falls on the 11th house. Still Jupiter will be under control. In fact, when Jupiter is in Aquarius, still Jupiter is under the dimension of Shani. So you have to be very, very careful. Because of the Saturn's placement in the 9th house, if you pray to Saturn by chanting Shani Bij Mantra or Shani Chalisa, then it will be great for you. Visiting Saturn temple and lighting a diya and helping poor people is going to be a great remedy for any kind of obstacle or problems in life. For transformation and for people who are dealing with problems of in-laws or investment issues or any kind of investment related fights in the family, you need to be careful not to fight with the brothers, because this combination of Saturn Jupiter directly aspects the 3rd house. Therefore, it wants to see what actions you take. Your every single action is being registered, and this is being registered to give you the output immediately. And if by chance you are in Sadasati, then you should be extra cautious about your efforts. But if your efforts are good and your karma is good, be assured that Saturn is going to change your destiny and fate for a very good reason. And once this happens, you will see the bright side of this combination. The true Neech Bhanga of Jupiter will come in your favor, will give you great career opportunity, will give you great investment opportunity, will take away the diseases, and will give you a better path towards life. What you have to do? Just a simple task. Understand your true responsibility and keep following that path. Don't rush, otherwise you will stumble a bad obstacle and fall flat on your face. Don't trust all your instincts and gut feeling right now, because Rahu on the ascendant can actually play a very vital role into giving you or putting you into a wrong path. Reading scriptures, because Jupiter is in the 9th house and Bhagavad Gita is going to be your savior. Ascendant number 3, Gemini ascendant, the ascendant ruled by the planet Mercury. Saturn and Jupiter is in the 8th house, and if you are facing Ashtam Sadasati because you are a Gemini moon sign, then this transit is extremely crucial for you. Try to understand. Jupiter is half of your Kendra Bhava, 7th and 10th house. Jupiter rules your marriage and your profession, the two most important areas of an adult life. This Jupiter is now with the Saturn in the 8th house, so definitely you cannot afford a fight with your in-laws. Plus, you cannot afford a quarrel in family, a dispute in family with regards to investments, with regards to inheritance. Also, you need to be very, very careful about how you play with your taxes, because one wrong move can put your business into trouble. Transformation on career is on the cards for the next 2 to 3 months. Saturnian energy in the 8th house will make you discover truth about your spouse and about people in your career. People will be critic about the actions that you take. Don't get disheartened, especially if you are a Gemini moon sign. Try to absorb all the criticism, because if you will do one, people will talk that you have done 2 or 3. That means there is an amplification of your action and the words will spread like wildfire. That is why try to be as conservative as possible and try to be as diplomatic in your talks as possible. And if you have anything to say or speak, don't just vent out to any random person, but to whomsoever you trust the most and you can rely on, you should talk to that person. And if you don't have any kind of person whom you can rely on or you can trust, then there are counselors and healers whom you can connect because they are the professionals of their field, or you can connect to an astrologer to find out a solution. But don't just go on and randomly speak what you have to say, because 8th house means the voice of the public. Definitely the position of Mars will play a vital role here. Why? Because Mars is in the 5th house in the sign of Libra. And for the entire duration till 21st of November, Mars will keep on aspecting the Saturn. That means it will make you take the risk. Obviously, this will also put you into a position where you would want to invest on stocks, share markets, mutual funds, and take unnecessary risk, because Rahu in the 12th house would definitely want you to spend more, and because you will see that you don't have funds to spend, you would want to gain. That's a natural human behavior. If I want something and I don't have, I will try to achieve by willing to gain things. But how are you going to gain? There is no shortcut right now. If you're dealing with public matters, if you're in service industry, if you're dealing with public money, you should be extra cautious. Saturn in 8th and Rahu in the 12th can actually aggravate sexual related issues. So that part of life must be handled in a positive manner. And if you can follow brahmacharya and you can practice yogic traditions and hatha yoga, not everybody, but those who can, then you will see remarkable results in your health, especially your mental and your psychological well-being will be improved by following the yogic practices. Practicing Tratak meditation and Vipassana Dhyan is the key to success. 8th house is the house of uncertainty. 8th house is the house of dilemma, confusion. But 8th house is also longevity. That means you will fight with the disease that is long hidden inside you. Now it will come out in the open. And that is good, because now you know, so you can treat, and the treatment will come positively. What you should do, you should try to have an holistic approach to life. Try to avoid non-vegetarian food and try not to consume alcohol or any such stuff, because Saturn and Jupiter directly aspects the 2nd house. Now, definitely the 7th and the 10th house also gets connected to the 9th house. So this also means that this time period can act as a change of fate, change of destiny, a tremendous transformation in the way you operate or your life operates, and the entire fabric about you changes. But this will happen if you try to figure out the secret of success. When the 7th Lord and the 9th Lord are together in the 8th house, in-laws can play a vital role for those who are married, and for those who are unmarried, dharma can play a vital role. Role of astrology becomes very important because that's the 8th and 9th energy. Learning Shastras, reading Vedas, practicing those rituals, following a Vedic routine is going to be a very crucial way to improve your life overall for the next many years. This will set the ball rolling that will give you tremendous edge over your competitors, and the more sattvic you become, the better the planets will behave for you. When you know a secret, because Jupiter is in Dhanishta, it will try to reveal outside, you will try to talk, and any kind of boasting about any power that you have got is going to only take away your power and leave you behind, and then it will become very difficult for you to regain that kind of power. So if you have a good quality, if you have a talent, you showcase it, but not in a way that brings pride inside you. It should be showcased in a way to help others, to motivate others. And if you are getting some divine experiences through meditation, experiences in chanting, if you are getting connected with the deities, don't just go and boast about your experience, showing that you are much ahead on a spiritual growth. No, because this is the time to keep that within you so that it can manifest within you and you can become a much better person. Rahu in the 12th can seriously make you think negative more than what you can think. So you have to be very careful about optimistic thinking. Being greedy, being somebody who is trying to oppress the poor, or if you're not helping the one who are in need, can actually challenge Saturn. And remember, Saturn is the planet which can act very dangerous in the 8th house. 8th house is the Ayubhava, and it can create any kind of disturbance. And Saturn in 8th, especially from the moon, means the problem is like underground and you are not able to see what is coming. So the problem may come from anywhere and you won't be prepared for that. So what the best way to handle this is by chanting Ganesh Kavach at least 3 times a day till 21st of November, so that you are shielded and you are protected. And if you are in a deep problem, you can definitely consult an astrologer. And if you can't, just pray to Bhagwan Mahavishnu by chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, bow down at his feet and let the energy flow through you. Ascendant number 4, Cancer Ascendant. You are an ascendant which resembles motherly feeling, emotions, any kind of comfort of life. And for you, when you see Saturn and Jupiter 7th, that means your comforts is being challenged by surroundings. But because Saturn is in his own house and Jupiter is in Neechbhanga Rajyog, this also means that there is some benefit in this challenge. Somebody is definitely looking out for you. And when that challenge is faced with firm determination and not with the feeling to escape, your destiny will change, your fate will change. 9th house Lord is in Neechbhanga. Saturn and Jupiter directly aspects the ascendant, and remember, this is the exalted aspect of Jupiter. Not only that, the 4th house from your ascendant is also aspected by Saturn's exalted aspect, which is on Libra. So what else can you demand from the transits? This double transit, especially after the retrogression ended, is actually very positive. 7th house is the house of spouse, marriage. 7th house is the house of business. In marriage, you will see that compromise is something that is being asked from you, from your life. And if you compromise, if you adjust, even if you are in a bad marriage or you are not getting married, if you adjust and if you do some changes, if you do some compromise, and just let go of unnecessary expectations, although your expectations will be fanned by Rahu in Kritika and you will not be able to give up, so you will feel the pressure. You need to understand that this push and pull scenario of your expectation, of your desire and its fulfillment is only going to tear you apart in 2 pieces. This Saturnian force in Capricorn is so strong that it is not easy. Saturn is tremendously strong in Capricorn. And Saturn is in Shravana Nakshatra, the nakshatra of Chandra, moon, your ascendant lord. In fact, your ascendant is such that the ascendant lord transits a different Rashi, and in every 2.5 days, and in fact every nakshatra on one day. So definitely you can see variety of output by the Saturn and Jupiter transit, and the moods can swing from extremely negative to extremely positive depending upon where the moon is. Don't take any decision when moon is debilitated, when moon is with Rahu, or when moon is in Capricorn, as long as Jupiter moves out. Saturn and Jupiter in the 7th house shows the presence of guru and mentor that can heal you, that can give you suggestion, that can give you motivation. It also means that a new business partnership is on the cards, and if you're doing a business, you need to go by the book. You should not try something out of the way, but have faith and trust and go slow. While you are promoting your business, remember Jupiter in Dhanishta can act negative if you promote it in a wrong way. Try to have this holistic way. Try to give something to society, because that's what Saturn in Capricorn is. Because remember, Saturn is with 6th Lord. Your 6th Lord and 8th Lord are together in the 7th house. Public views about you can change things, especially if you are the one for whom the public view matters a lot. The 6th energy and the 8th energy can bring tremendous transformation in the 7th house. And the moment you start fighting, the moment you start to show the power, the moment you start to believe that you are in control, is when things will really go wrong. Because Saturn is a planet of humbleness. You need to show surrender, you need to show humbleness, gratitude, and try to appreciate what you have. Try to appreciate your partner, try to appreciate people around you, and try to have a very holistic and divine environment in your home. Pray, just sing some bhajan. Let the vibration become positive. 7th house is all the vibration that the body and mind absorbs. Let it be positive. Don't watch negative movies. Don't let the negative emotions be around you. Try to make people around you happy, especially go to an old age home and spend some time. Spending time with old people, spending time with people who are helpless and making them happy can actually turn the fate for you. But don't do it for the sake of your own benefit, otherwise it will be a transaction which won't be accepted well by Saturn, but rather do it for the sake of simply happiness, by bringing smile to someone's face. And that's your prarabdha. 6th house. You can also be troubled by the disease or some medical issue for your spouse, so you have to be careful on that angle. Buying a property or investing money in a very high volume should be done carefully. Otherwise, if you're taking great care of your health and your spouse's health, having an holistic environment, spend this time like a vacation. You will see that you will be in a much better shape. And if you are in a problem, just pray to Lord Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And you will be free from the problems. Ascendant number 5, Leo Ascendant. If you observe, Saturn and Jupiter is in your 6th house. 6th house is the house of prarabdha karma. It is the duty, responsibility. But Saturn, the planet of delay, when it goes in the 6th house, it delays things beyond usual. And Jupiter doesn't support. This can affect in marriage because Jupiter also controls the 8th house and Saturn controls 7th house. You can see that there can be an unnecessary delay in court proceedings. There can be unnecessary delay into any work that was supposed to be finalized and the results should have come. But is this negative? No. The delay is happening at a time when Saturn and Jupiter are direct. Jupiter is in Neech Bhang and Saturn is in his own house. Definitely it can't go against you. The only problem is that you as an ascendant has the maximum rivalry with the 7th house. If you take any other ascendant, the 7th house and the 1st lord, 7th lord and the 1st lord don't have that much of rivalry between them. They somehow complement. But if you are an Aquarius ascendant or Leo ascendant, then your ascendant lord and the 7th lord become Sun and Saturn, and that is something to watch out for. Definitely it means that the quality of your ascendant is to go by yourself and not to prefer the 7th house much more than what threshold that you have decided for yourself. And Saturn in the 6th house is forcing you to compromise, forcing you to follow the prarabdha, forcing you to fulfill your duty. And that's what you should do. You should spend the next couple of months in social service, serving the animals, serving the people who need you, and the help means it can be any kind of help. Even helping somebody by giving them contact who can actually help them is also a help. Always money doesn't matter because Saturn is a planet that wants your effort, not your money. And 8th lord going in the 6th house is also in a way a Vipreet Rajyog, and then Jupiter also causes a Neech Bhang Rajyog, and Jupiter is the 5th lord. So definitely whatever is happening for good because Jupiter is your 5th lord. 5th house is Purva Punya, past life positive karma. 5th house is a mantra bhava, and when 5th lord combines in the 6th house, you can literally gain by chanting mantra. You should chant your Guru's mantra, and if you don't know, you can simply chant Om Namah Shivaya 108 times and maybe more than that. This will not only simplify your life, but will make you accept the situation, and this feeling of gratitude, this feeling of thankfulness is what Saturn wants you to move towards. Leo is naturally egoistic. Leo is naturally territorial. Leo is naturally an expansionist. And Saturn is more like democracy. So there has to be a harmony, because if Saturn goes in 6th house and combines itself with 5th house, it can trap you by depriving you from all the possibilities of life and therefore making your life monotonous, and you will feel as if you're walking on the rope and you can fall anytime. Right now, Sun is also debilitated, and Saturn's aspect on the Sun is only going to make you more humble. So if you can right now surrender and bow down at the feet of Shiva and simply allow him to guide you, the guidance will be enough to steer you into the path of success. What you should not do, you should not take any unnecessary loan or go for any unnecessary investment, especially heavily investing into the stocks if you are not already a practitioner of that field. Don't experiment with your career. Maybe you will have to accept few shortcomings in your job, but that's what it is till this Jupiter goes in the 7th house. Saturn aspect on the 12th house can be literally bad in case you are fighting a case of divorce and justice will be delayed, but this delay is important. Maybe this will end up in a reconciliation of marriage. Don't try to challenge the law by bypassing the laws at this time, because this can be fatal, especially at the time when the disease is in the air. 6th house can also affect your gut health, so you need to be eating less than what you should. Fast on Saturday or Thursday, and this will help into holistic healing. Go for a 7 to 10 days of replenishment, rejuvenation. Go for a vacation in nature. Try to visit the nature, and you will see that you will feel the peace of mind and happiness. Now, Saturn's presence in the 6th house is accompanied by Rahu's presence in the 10th house, and when Rahu in the 10th house is going to trigger the feeling of changing the livelihood, or maybe you will feel that you are serving someone's too much, and maybe this is the time when you should take control of the situation. Maybe you're thinking about promotion, everything is fine, but whatever you do, think logically. Don't expose your plan, but first see that is your plan truly a plan to be executed, or is it just a plan based on hope and illusion? Otherwise, one wrong step and you can fall on your face. Be careful, tread carefully, and fulfill your prarabdha, serve the people, serve society, do something good for people around you, and you will see that the universe will come and do as much good as you can receive. Ascendant number 6, Virgo ascendant. In case of Virgo ascendant, Saturn and Jupiter will be in the 5th house. 5th lord being in the 5th house and 4th lord in the 5th house is a tremendous Raj Yoga. 5th house is also the mantra bhava, the bhava of purva punya, the house of expression, the house of learning, the house of vidya, knowledge, intellect, consciousness. When Saturn and Jupiter goes there, it suddenly expands the wisdom by making you understand your own mistakes. Suddenly you will realize where you are wrong and you will be able to correct that. And you should seek the help from Ma Saraswati. Chanting Saraswati mantra or any kind of Saraswati bhajan or any puja of Saraswati, any vandana of Saraswati is going to be extremely helpful when 5th house will see a tremendous transformation of Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn is experience, whereas Jupiter is knowledge. And when it goes in 5th house, it means you will express your experience. Your expression will come with your experience. So if you are somebody who doesn't have an experience or you have just started the career, you should focus on education. You should focus on learning. You should focus on gathering experience rather than looking for growth right now. And who has already enough experience in your respective line will see that your experience will talk more, and you will see that your experience will come more handy than your actual practical knowledge. When fourth lord goes with Saturn in the fifth house, you may feel slightly uncomfortable about your children. And if you can't handle, maybe because you are facing some issues from the children's side, then you will need to talk to people who are experienced from the line. That means professionals who can handle children. And if your child is suffering from any kind of depression or mental issue, then you should talk to a counselor. You should talk to a psychologist in that case. Don't wait, because you really can't experiment with knowledge and you really can't experiment with vidya at this time. This is the time when you respect the knowledge where it is available the most. You should respect the experience. On one hand, you should also try to upgrade your knowledge by taking certification, by trying to upgrade. Even self-learning can be done at this time, and this will help you in your own career by transforming your career, and therefore you must give up the comfort zone. Fourth lord being debilitated means your comfort zone will be taken away. Ninth house also has Rahu. If you really want to change your destiny, you have to think out of the box. And you have to learn from your own past mistakes, and that is the only way if you are a Virgo ascendant or a Virgo moon sign. Rahu's ninth as energy will be towards the fifth house, and Jupiter's fifth energy will be interacting with Rahu. So you need to also learn new belief system. You just cannot confine your mind into one single thread of belief. Maybe you will have to look to other sphere. For example, if you are into one sector of career, you should not confine if things are not working out there. Maybe you need to get out and find a new arena, a new sphere of life, and that is the new discovery that you will have. That's what you will learn new about yourself. Personality development is must at this time. When you are talking, when you are expressing, you might be acting very cold. So if your spouse is acting cold, just understand. If the spouse is of Virgo ascendant, you must understand. And to all of you who are married, and if both of you are with Virgo energy, for example, both are Virgo ascendant or both are Virgo moon sign, or one is Virgo ascendant and the other one is Virgo moon sign, that means both have somewhere the Virgo energy coming into play. You must be holding the ground and not fight, rather than be very humble. Go to some temple together, go to a Vishnu temple together, try to be more spiritual. Chanting mantra and practicing mantra, learning some ritual, learning how to do yajna can also act brilliant in this case. Helping a poor pandit, someone who is spreading the dharma, someone who is poor, and you help him with his daily needs. Small donations will work wonders in this case. Fifth house is also the house of stomach. Feed the hungry. And you should not eat after sunset if possible. If you're not taking any medicine, try to not eat solid food after sunset so that your digestion becomes improved, because you might catch some liver related issue because of slow digestion and slow metabolism by Saturn. Walk more and do Kapalabhati pranayam if possible, or simply meditate and do yoga, and your health will improve. Take care of your stomach and your health will be up to the mark. Overall, this is a brilliant transit and a brilliant 2 months for you. Make the best use of it. This may not be sugar coated, but this is definitely the platform you need right now. Ascendant number 7, Libra ascendant. Now, definitely in your case, Saturn is the planet that gets exalted on your ascendant, and Saturn in the 4th house forms Panch Mahapurush Raj Yoga, and this is a brilliant formation of planetary energies, and the exchange of energy between Mars and Saturn is only going to upgrade your personality and upgrade your life in a very positive way. Mars and Saturn exchange of exaltation aspect has been already explained in a video. I will put the link in the I button here or in the description box below. Just check that video. You will get much more about the Saturn and Mars mutual exchange of energy. But if you try to observe that Saturn and Jupiter presence in the 4th house is actually going to transform the environment of your home. If you want to sell your home, if you have a property that is long stuck and now you want to sell it, that process might move in a forward direction. Jupiter is 6th lord, so if you want to sanction a loan for your home, this is possible, but it will only be possible if the property that you want to buy is the property that you need. That means if you want to buy a home and you need that home, you will get it. If it is more about investment, then it can be slightly difficult. 4th house, Saturn and Jupiter means you should serve your mother. Slight concern from your mother's health can trouble you. You should also try to renovate your home in whatever way possible. There should be some rearrangement done in the furniture and you should discard anything that is old and obsolete from your home. If you observe, Rahu is in the 8th house and the chaotic energy can actually put your mind into a lot of trouble. Home is going to be the anchor. So if you are away from the home, if you think the parents and your relatives are orthodox or they don't understand you, don't forget that when you will be suffering, they will be the one who will be standing beside you. And if you think that they are not the one or they don't deserve to be with you in rare cases, then there should be somebody who is your family. And if you feel you don't have a family, you are absolutely alone, then you are at the hands of God, in the lap of God. And if you pray to Lord Hanuman, if you simply wholeheartedly, because see, Lord Hanuman showed the presence of love of Ram and Sita by tearing the chest and showing that it's a symbolic way of saying that Ram resides in the heart of Hanuman. And if Hanuman resides in your heart will become like iron. Your confidence and your life will become like iron, and this iron-clad confidence will take you places. You won't get this opportunity for next, I don't know how many years. For next 2 months, every day, chant Hanuman Chalisa as much as possible. Connect with Hanuman with wholehearted emotion, because 4th house Saturn can dry up emotion, can make you face situation where playing with emotion is not possible. You have to be practical. You have to stand firm for your relatives, near and dear ones, and the family. And that means it can be tremendously pressurizing on your mind, especially if you are Libra moon sign. Hanuman's energy and the blessings of Bhagwan Hanuman will be with you. Saturn and Jupiter from the 4th house can actually create a lot of changes in your workplace. Maybe some situation at home can eat away the time from the work, and you need to strike a work and life balance, because too much of work and too less at home, or too less at home and too much at work, can create huge differences that will take a lot of time to clear out. This can break marriages. Try to strike the balance of life by healing yourself holistically, working for certain hours for yourself, some time for devotion, some time for family. Try to arrange your life, because without the proper arrangement, you will see it will be very hard to hold on to the reality that you are in right now. And I'm sure you must be understanding what I'm talking about. 3rd house, Jupiter along with Saturn means your responsibility towards your brother and brother's family can also come into picture. So take care of that. And you need to listen to what your heart says. Depriving yourself from emotion, eating the emotion can be depressing. So you need to go and talk to psychologist, healers, take pranic healing, vent it out, but on a positive channel. Once you vent it out on a positive channel, don't keep negativity within you, and you will see that you will pour your heart out and you will be very happy. Don't sleep with a load on the chest. Relieve the load and believe in the powers and the blessings of Bhagwan Hanuman. God is with you. Ascendant number 8, Scorpio ascendant. Saturn and Jupiter is in your third house, and third house is all about your willpower, your expression, communication, and third house is more about talking about justice, standing for right. It is about your courage and your enthusiasm. It is also the house of your brother. Now, when Saturn and Jupiter goes in that house, definitely your responsibility towards your friends and your brothers increases. Whether you stand up for the right is also very important. In your own way, you must speak for what is right and you must speak for justice. Your first lord Mars is in the 12th house and third lord Saturn is in third house, and they both aspect each other. Therefore, this means that your attempts to control your expenses and your attempts to control the losses will now come for a proper fructification. It will come for a proper result, and you will see that your efforts are now finally, after much delay, is giving you the right output. But you have to learn from your own actions. It's like learning on the job, learning on the go, because fifth lord Jupiter is in the third house. When you are communicating, you cannot speak lie, but you have to communicate the truth. However harsh it may be, but you should not be rude, but you have to communicate the truth. Third house is also the house of hands, and people who have problems in their hands must do a lot of exercises, and what you do with your hand is very important at this time. People who work like sculptors, writers, designers, whose hands are very important because that's what are used in their livelihood, in their career, that's what make them who they are, will profit from the Saturn and Jupiter's presence in the third house. But this also means that Saturn can give you a lot of insecurity, and you will be refraining yourself or doubting your own actions, and you will only judge yourself. So you have to be very careful not to delay unnecessarily, not to act in a lazy way, and don't procrastinate. Third house energy is also the energy that is associated with as the first Kama Bhava from the Kama Trikona. 3, 7, 10 is called as the trine of desire, and third house is the first house, so it's the beginning of the desire. And when you have Capricorn there, that means you will be forced to do things to fulfill your responsibility, and you should willfully do that. Now, when Rahu is in the 7th house, the desire to marry, the desire towards earning money, the desire to show the power, the show of authority will be too much. And when you will not be able to do, when you won't be able to flex your arms, it will frustrate you. So, authoritative expression of life is not the right way when Saturn and Jupiter are going together in the third house. Jupiter will aspect the 9th house. So if your actions are more directed towards spiritual growth, if your actions are more directed towards doing what is right, if you are more creative and not destructive, that is what the Jupiter and Saturn theme in the third house represent. Create something. It's like sculpture. Carve something out of your life. Bring out your talent. Do something that you always wanted to do, obviously, within the limits and respecting the limits. When the 12th and 3rd energies are there, definitely travel can be on the cards. You can travel to a foreign country. If there is a visa issue, that can be resolved. But remember, Ketu is on the first house, so you will always doubt your action. You have always doubted yourself. It's always a personality crunch, a dissociation of with your own self, and the Saturn's third energy and Jupiter's knowledge from the fifth will give you for once an idea who you truly are, and that can only happen if you work towards yourself. By being creative and by praying to Ma Mahadurga, by chanting Durga Saptashati or Mahishasur Mardini Stotra, you will be able to gain the energy necessary to be creative in life. Help poor, your hand should be used for donation, your hand should be available to give, and if you are ready to do that, if you are ready to participate in this process, Saturn and Mahavishnu will give you all the resource that you need. Because remember, Jupiter also rules your second house, and Jupiter being in the third house is Bhavat Bhavam of Jupiter. A Neech Bhanga of the second house means all the Daridra can go away if you follow the right path. Ascendant number 9, Sagittarius Ascendant. Your Ascendant is ruled by Jupiter, your fourth house is ruled by Jupiter, second and third is controlled by Saturn, and they all are in the second house. So it's like first quarter of your entire life, your existence is now controlled and operated by second house, which is the house of bank balance, family, security, value system of life. There are a few things that you have to address. To correct the energy of Saturn and Rahu, you need to focus on the food. Food and speech. Speak right, speak slow. Talk about the positive side of life, don't talk negative, don't curse anybody, don't talk negative about anybody. Be diplomatic in your words and be humble and show gratitude. Show gratitude to the universe so that you let them know, you let the powers know that you are thankful because you have food on plate. You have a shelter, you have a roof, you have water, you are surviving, you are breathing. You are getting the help. And that gratitude is necessary, that recognition is necessary when Saturn and Jupiter are in the second house. Work towards your finances because second house is the wealth that you accumulate in your bank. Try to invest that. You will see that you might get a very slow growth in your bank account. Control your expenses. Try to invest and save more at this time. Your ascendant lord is in the second house and it is in Neech Bhanga Raj Yoga. So definitely your family will support you. But you need to accept all the positive and the negatives about yourself as well as people around you. Don't reveal, don't become vulnerable by just talking nonsense. When you're expressing something, your expression must mean something. The words, the sentences must have some value. When fourth lord goes in the second house, that means you will gain from properties. You will gain from your wealth. But only if you are surrendering to the divine and only if you understand the play of planets. Mars is in fact in a very good position for you in the sign of Libra because Mars is 12th from 12th, which aspects the second house. This is the time when you convert your loss to gains. All the money that is stuck can convert into your gains. It can come back. You will regain. It's a time for recovery for you. When Jupiter is in Dhanishta Nakshatra and when the fourth lord is in Dhanishta, it can mean sampannata, prosperity. But then Saturn in Shravan is listening to this prosperity and is asking you, why is this prosperity? Why do you need so much of wealth and money and success and resources? And if you give a justifiable reason, that it is okay to enjoy whatever wealth I can accumulate, but I will also contribute to society. I will give a part of the money, and I'm talking about more about money and food I will feed the hungry and I will give money, maybe 2%, maybe 1% of my income to the needy, then you are proving to Saturn that yes, you are doing some good work, you are doing some donation, some charity work, and helping who is needy, helping who is deprived, because Saturn represents the people who are deprived. And if you show sympathy towards them, if you learn this, not for the sake of good karma or anything, just for the sake of understanding, being a good student, the fire of dharma will be ignited within you. Because remember, Venus on 30th of October will move on your ascendant, and you will love when you will do the task of dharma. Second house also means that wife's money can be invested, or you can get help from your own wife or your own husband when you are in times of need. You will get help from people whom you have rejected, or you have felt that they are no longer support you, but suddenly they are right there in front of you. Try to mend your relations with your brother, and don't speak bland, rude words. Sometimes truth should be spoken, but in the right frame of sentences. Otherwise, it can hurt somebody. Try not to hurt somebody with your own words. Rahu in the 6th house can increase enemies, and people can become jealous, and that is why you need to refrain from any controversy. But if you can pray to Mahavishnu, and if you can chant Vishnu Sahasranam, you will see the brightest side of your life in the next couple of months. Make the best use of this Raj Yoga. Ascendant number 10, Capricorn ascendant. Saturn and Jupiter is on your ascendant, and finally your ascendant is right now behaving in the right direction. It's going in the right direction. Jupiter is the 12th lord, Saturn is the 2nd lord. Both are together on the 1st house. This means that the mind is totally focused towards what you can gain, what you can lose. It's more about personality transformation, self-realization, and you correcting every wrong thing about you, which you think that is wrong about you. 3rd house Jupiter on the 1st house also means efforts on your own self. So this is the time when you change the way you think about life, change the perspective of life, decide what you want to be, decide what you wish to be. And the feedback, see, 7th house is Cancer. So it's like water. Imagine you are trying to, you are standing at the edge of the river bank, and you are facing towards the water, and the reflection of the water tells you how you look like. So if you depend upon the water to know what you look like, and if the water is dirty, you will not see anything. If the water is moving, you will see your face in a blurry and a wavy manner. That means, is that really you? So the reflection of your personality doesn't actually tell who you really are. So don't bother about the criticism, don't bother about the negative feedback that you get. Rather, you should focus on you becoming the right person, you being the one who is doing things the way it should be done. Sun and Rahu being in the sign of Venus zodiac, and Venus going into Sagittarius after 30th of October is actually a brilliant time to change your career. Change the way you work, change the way you operate, change the way you think how productive your life can be. Follow your passion, and your passion can become your career option. Try to learn something new. Upgrade yourself. Change your personality. Change everything about you, and try to increase the self-confidence, because if self-confidence has to increase, it will increase now. Make the best use of this time, which is in your favor, and you will see that in future, when Jupiter will move into Pisces, all the decisions that you have taken now will come into fructification, fruition, when Jupiter will be in your third house, because then your actions will be in the right direction. Ascendant number 11, Aquarius ascendant. Saturn and Jupiter is in your 12th house. Lagna Lord, Ascendant Lord, Saturn, and the second Lord Jupiter is in 12th house. So definitely you are more concerned or scared about what you can lose in life. This is also the time when you will lose people, gain people, lose trust, gain trust. This is also the time when the evaluation of your losses will take place, because Jupiter has to recover in future. So all the recovery will happen in the future, but the assessment of loss will happen now. So if you want to really assess what you need in your life, what transformation you need in your life, what are the deficits, this is the time. 12th house Saturn and Jupiter also means going far into a Rishi's ashram in search of truth, in search of happiness, in search of peace of mind. So visit such places. If possible, visit hilly areas. Go far from where you are right now. A small vacation, a small trip will come handy upgrading yourself. It's like spending some time in isolation. So if you can't go anywhere, just spend 30 minutes with yourself alone, sitting and meditating and praying to Shani. Therefore, it gives you the right ideas. It feeds the right words in your mind. Because if you only focus on the negativity, if you hold on too much and doesn't let things go, then it can create a lot of negative situation in your life. It can create negative thoughts. It can create negative emotions. When you're talking about Saturn and Jupiter, you're also talking about 11th Lord and the 1st Lord. So 11th and 1st Lord in the 12th house, good for foreign movement. This is also the planetary placement, good for import and export. Any kind of transaction done on a foreign scale, on a global scale. People who are associated with iron, metals, leather products, they will also see good time here. Financially, this is a time where your investment will finally start giving you some return, not much, but at least something. And this ease of income will come after mid of November, and slowly when Jupiter goes into Aquarius, you will see that things balances itself in a positive direction. Now, because right now, if you are in a financial crunch, because second lord is in 12th house, and in Dhanishta, you need a good accountant, a good CA, a good professional person who can work out on your expenses and balance sheets and who can give you right financial advice. Stock market is absolutely not the place where you should invest money right now. If you see the position of Rahu is in the 4th house, so definitely unique things, some auspicious event might happen in your home. But try to not play with fire like matchsticks and gas lighters at your home, and at least prevent your home from all fire hazards if your Mars and Rahu is in 4th house. Rahu being in Kritika in the 4th house can somehow create tensions at home also, especially with people who are Rahu moon and Ketu moon people. So till the time Saturn and Jupiter is in 12th house, try to ensure that you don't lose things unnecessarily, you don't lose people unnecessarily. Health of mother can be a concern in this time frame. And if you find that you are running pillar to post to save the life of your near and dear ones, once things get settled out, pray to Shani. And if Shani helps you, if things become normal, you will also help somebody who is facing similar kind of problem, and this is the transfer of karma. 12th house is also the house of donation. A part of your income should be used in donation. That way you will also ensure that things don't go wrong on your side. Invest in a good bed. Buy a good bed sheet. Avoid black color. And try to give comfort, not too much but mild comfort to your neck and bed. Change the sleep cycle, wake up early, sleep early. This is the least you can do to at least give some comfort to your physical self. Overall, this is going to be a life-changing transit, and a transit where a lot of things about you will be taken away and a lot more will be rediscovered, and you will become a totally new and a better person. Ascendant number 12, Pisces ascendant. Your ascendant is the one where Venus gets exalted. And this is also the ascendant of moksha. Pisces is like the ocean of thoughts where everything is in abundance. But then you have to find out, because if you have to search something in ocean, it's like, you have to search in the vast stretch. Such intense zodiac sign is ruled by the planet that is largest in solar system, Jupiter. And that is with Saturn in the 11th house. So definitely it means that it is going to correct the course of your expectation from life, from people around you. You will get to learn a lot about your relatives, your near and dear ones, your network circle. There will be a lot of filters, a lot of friends will go away, fake friends. A lot of true friends will come back. This will be a transactional energy, and you will stand gaining a lot from this transit. Jupiter being the 10th lord going in the 11th house means there will be few restrictions in your source of income, or maybe one hard switch in a new career, in a new job, changing your livelihood. So be very careful when you are planning for a career switch, because this might be a difficult switch, but it is possible. But when it happens, it might not happen again anytime soon. So it will be like for a decent amount of time. So if you're stuck in the next company, if you're stuck in the next venture, then you will have to walk that path irrespective of whatever it has to offer. 10th house is also the reputation, and Saturn is not that great planet that gives you the reputation. But if your karma is right, it is the same Shani Dev which helps you leave a legacy behind. So if your karma is right, people will remember for the good you have done. And if your karma is wrong, it will take no time for defamation. Because Saturn on the 11th house, with its third aspect, watches your ascendant. And if Saturn is in 11th house, with its 10th aspect, watches your 8th house. So for Pisces ascendant, Saturn controls both life and death. And when Jupiter goes into that house, everything becomes a matter of do and die. So when that happens, and if you choose to wait, if you choose to procrastinate, well, it can be a negative thing. You have to stand up, act, and be very proactive in your work, in your life, in your actions, and not wait. Because, see, patience is okay. Unnecessary wait is waste of time. Time is going to be one precious resource for you, which you should not waste at any cost. And if you do so, then you will end up losing finances. You will end up in a reduced source of income. You will end up in a restriction in your own career, in your own livelihood. And you will also end up with a dispute with your own children. And if you use it wisely, if you spend time at home, do the work, plan everything in a positive way, and always think about the karmic consequences of your action, you will see that the 11th house Shani and the 11th house Jupiter, the proper niche Bhanga Raj Yoga being formed in the 11th house, will only give you gain and gain. Yes, the gain will be slow. It will first give you the foundation, and then it will create a building on top of that. But eventually you will get what you deserve. So pray to Ma Devi Shakti, pray to Ma Parvati, seek what you deserve and prove that you deserve the best, so you will get the best. Also, because 12th Lord is in 11th house, it means that whatever you have lost, it will recover. Because 10th Lord is in the 11th house, It means the more you work in a difficult situation, the more you handle the difficult situation of your life, the better your life will become. So don't escape. This is the time to face the fear. This is the time to hit the challenge head on. This is not the time to run away, because the planets are there to give you. This is Raj Yoga formation for you. Make the best use of it. So friends, that was a brief analysis for all ascendants. I hope you like this, and if you like, do not forget to subscribe the channel, share the word of Vedic astrology among family and friends, share the video on WhatsApp, Facebook and other social media so that a lot more people can know what's happening in the celestial space. This is your host Puneet. We'll meet in the next such video. Till then, namaste.